Hello everyone and welcome to Tranquility Through Life's Natural Beauty. Thank you so much for being here. This is the Friday Friendship Club and this is where we link hands in friendship and say hello to everyone. So the symbol of the Friday Friendship Club. So thank you for being here. I appreciate that very much. And we've got a lot coming up today, so let's have a look at what is coming up on this episode. So we have today quiz, and we actually have a double quiz today. We have a very special quiz for my friend Steve Jewell, and I will also be doing the normal quiz as well. So you've got both of those to look forward to. We've got story time coming up, a piece of a story of some life in the past. We have a game coming up. What else do we have? Oh, it's Friday, so we have some Friday film footage. We have, what else do we have coming up? Oh, question of the day. I've got a real doozy of a question of the day for you today. So lots more besides. So let's begin straight away. And let's start with, I'm doing a little promo for a playlist on my other channel, New Beginnings, My Everyday Life in Rural Cyprus. So let's take a look at that first of all. And don't forget to check out playlist on both my channels to see if there's something else you may have missed that you will enjoy. So that's on my other channel, New Beginnings, My Everyday Life in Rural Cyprus. Check out that playlist. And if you've got any trouble with bugs, you want to identify them, not only know how to get rid of them, but of course, how to stop them coming in the first place. So prevention is a big part of what I share in those videos. So do check them out. And let's go on now to Quote Corner for Fridays. So take heed there. There's a lot more to look back at previous episodes for more of my quotes. And don't forget, on this channel, I also have videos just full of positive life quotes. So go and check that out. Again, check the playlist and you will find whole videos. There's probably about 3 or 4 up so far, where the full video is lots of different quotes. So do check that out. Okay, let's go on to this. So some weeks I have been reading to you excerpts from a book I have that was about a lady called Eileen Whitening, and about life growing up in Wallington, Surrey in England, and that's where I had my houses that I bought. So this is continuing where we left off. If you want to see previous episodes of this, then go back to previous lives on Fridays. So she continues. The mental picture of the place as remembered by Mother and so often recounted to me reveals a green in Melbourne Road, the site of the former post office, where she tethered her pony and pet donkey on land owned by her father, and chalky banks near the newly built railway, where she and her brothers often slid down in their Sunday best and were severely punished for such escapades. Another childish prank was to empty the council's water cart, which was stored in Fallsticks Yard during the weekend, so that the driver had to refill it on a Monday morning, much to their secret delight. Not very laudable, but true. John Fallstick, her father, combined various farming activities with his local contractor's business of 60 horses, a blacksmith's forge, and later luxurious hired cars and garages on the land now in use as a car park adjoining the railway station. Lavender fields and acres of peppermint were grown by him, where the small holdings now flourish at the top of Boundary Road. And Mother would often be taken for picnic teas in these scented fields as a young child. And here's a little picture of that, and I do have the original postcard of that, strangely enough. And the lavender fields were where one of the houses I bought was actually situated. Lavender fields and acres of peppermint were grown on the small holdings, now flourish at the top of Boundary Road. Mother would often be taken for picnic teas in the scented fields as a young child. The harvest of lavender flowers was regularly distilled by Miss Sproul's at her still in Melbourne Road, and was used in the famous Mitcham lavender toilet products for many years. Mother's early days were spent at their first family residence, known as Sunnydale, a farmhouse-type dwelling in the area known as Fallsticks Yard, close to the station, and reached through a tiny wicket gate. The horses were stabled there, and I can remember lots of chickens and various other domestic animals and pets always underfoot, as I often visited my grandfather while he was in his office there, after they had removed to Grosvenor Road House. The local fire engine was also housed in the yard and was maintained by Dick Chandler, who was the caretaker of the old council offices in Belmont Road, now the site of the modern fire station. Horses owned by my grandfather were used to pull the engine before the days of mechanisation. In the centre of the village, the local tradesmen were important and prosperous and known to everyone, and it was quite usual for carriages to bring the gentry to shop in person and to see nursemaids wheeling out their charges in the afternoons. Many of these shopkeepers were interesting personalities, and I've described them in a separate chapter all to themselves, as I feel they deserve their place in history as being part of a breed no longer in existence in these days of impersonal self-service and supermarkets. And here's a picture of the water van, and it says a water van, possibly the one referred to in chapter 1. The photograph is believed to have been taken in the 1890s outside Dr. Cressy's house at the corner of Manor Road and Croydon Road, opposite Wallington Green. And there's a picture of that there. So we're going to leave that there for today. Let me know if you know much about English history, if you're not from England. So let me know. And there was information on someone's live today, and they didn't know a main place in Europe, which isn't astounding when you think about it, whereas Europeans and English people don't know much about American history and vice versa. Hey, my Alabama Farm Life's in. Hello to you. Thank you for being here. And guys, do go and check out the channel Alabama Farm Life. It's really a good channel, particularly if you're interested in growing. So hello to you. I think, am I right in saying it's the first time you've actually gone on one of my lives? And I love the way at the end of her videos, she's got an olive tree in my grounds in Cyprus because she wants a free sponsorship of an olive tree. So at the end of her videos, she puts up a picture of her olive trees, which is really cool. Okay, let's go on to this. So as I say, it's a two-part quiz today, a special. There's going to be a special quiz after this for Steve Jewell. Do go and check out Steve and Tina Jewell channel. And there is going to be a special quiz just for Steve, and I won't put the answers up today. I will probably put that up on my other channel, my next live. I will do the answers because me and Steve are playing a game. Can I catch him out? So I've actually picked for the second part of the quiz his one of his top subjects he's really interested in. So I'm trying to catch him out on his specialized subject with a quiz. So that would be after this one, but we do our normal quiz first of all. We also have Glitterworld in the house. So let's go and say a big hello to my friend Shirley from Glitterworld. And guys, do go and check out her channel. My Alabama Farm Life is saying your lives are pretty early my time, but caught it this morning. Yeah, this one's completely different times to my main channel lives. So they probably suit you better, my main channel lives. Let's do the quiz, and then if I remember, I'll pop that up for you. Okay, so let's do the quiz today. And today's quiz is about dogs. Dogs. Let's see how many you can get. So I'll read them all first and then I'll go through the answers. I think an easy one to start with. First question, what is a group of related puppies called? If you want to put the answers up, then do put them up. If you're watching this back later, see how many you know before I give the answers. So what is a group of related puppies called? On to the next question. How long does it take for a puppy to grow into an adult? How long does it take for a puppy to grow into an adult? My Alabama Farm Life's put her first answer, so we'll check those out after. How long does it take for a puppy to grow into an adult? So I'll give you three options: 6 months, a year, or 3 years. 6 months, a year, or 3 years. So try again on that one. 6 months, a year, or 3 years. Okay, next one is, which letter S is a kind of dog often trained to be a sniffer dog? Now, if you've got a different answer, of course I'll accept it, but there is a particular answer. Which letter S is a kind of dog often trained to be a sniffer dog? And the next one, and the reason I do the questions first is I know some of you are delayed watching, so obviously it gives you time to type answers in. The next one is, how might a hearing dog help a deaf owner? How might a hearing dog help a deaf owner? And of course, I'll accept any real answers. Okay, next one. If a dog wags its tail, is it happy or angry? That's a nice, easy one. If a dog wags its tail, is it happy or angry? I hope you'll get that one right. So type your answers in, or keep tabs of your answers if you're watching later and see how many you get right. Next one. Does a sad dog drop its tail or raises it? Does a sad dog drop its tail or raises it? I hope you get that right, especially if you have dogs. Next one. Which wild animal is the ancestor of all domestic dogs? Which wild animal is the ancestor of all domestic dogs? And the answer's coming up. We've got two more. Edgar Revel Torn. Now, I'll type that in for you in the comments. Bear with. Edgar Revel Torn. There it is. Edgar Revel Torn can be rearranged to spell which breed of dog? So rearrange those letters to be a breed of dog. And the last question before I give the answers, so hopefully this gives you time to type in answers if you're watching live. Which would make a better guard dog? A Rottweiler or a Labrador? A Rottweiler or a Labrador? So which would you do? Which one? So let's go back, look at the answers. The first question was, what is a group of related puppies called? And my Alabama Farm Life has put a litter. Correct. Well done. Second question, how long does it take for a puppy to grow into an adult? And I gave you three choices of 6 months, a year, or 3 years. And the answer is a year, 1 year. The next question, I did say I'd accept any answers that are correct. Which S is a kind of dog that is often trained to be a sniffer dog? Now, the answer here says a spaniel, and my Alabama Farm Life has got Schnauzer and they are their ears. So yes, we accept that as a correct answer. The next one was, how might a hearing dog help a deaf owner? And of course, it's to hear anything that a deaf person wouldn't hear. So, for example, a telephone ringing, someone knocking on the door, a car suddenly coming round the corner. So anything like that, any answer like that would be correct. If a dog wags its tail, is it happy or angry? And correct, my Alabama farm life, happy. Well done. The next one was, does a sad dog drop its tail or raise it? And you got that right as well. Drops it, of course. And then the next question was, which wild animal is the ancestor of all domestic dogs? And of course, that's a wolf. A wolf. And then the next one was, I typed in the comments, Edgear Revel Torn. You rearrange those letters. What breed of dog is that? And it is Golden Retriever. And the last question is, which would make a better guard dog, a Rottweiler or a Labrador? And of course, a Rottie. Well done, my Alabama farm life. And you are the one who's got the most answers correct on the live chat today. So claps for you. Okay, I see it now. Is that the anagram? Yes, the anagram. But well done to you. Yay. Oh, I haven't got a tail growing out my ear. It's Fossil. There's Fossil. Come and say hello, Fossil. Oh, you're going that way. There's Fossil. There's Fossil cat. I've got 4 cats, if you don't know. So you tend to meet most of them on the live. So come in. So that's Fossil. Okay, so I did say it was going to be a special quiz today because I'm challenging Steve Jewell. Do go and check out Steve and Tina Jewell's channel. And so bear with if you're not English, but you might be able to answer some of these questions anyway. So let's see. Question 1. The Hovis bread advert, where he's riding a bike in the old days on a very steep hill. What county in England is that advert filmed in? So that's question 1. There are a number of the questions. That's question 1. Question 2. The situation comedy in England, Bless This House. The dad was a travelling salesman, but what did he sell? Question 3. Now, Steve's most popular sitcom, old sitcom, English TV sitcom, tell me if you guys in other countries have this one, is Dad's Army. So I've got some questions to try and challenge Steve. The first one is, you had Pike, who was the young lad in the Home Guards. What was Mrs. Pike's name? So the character, what was Mrs. Pike's first name? No cheating looking it up, Steve. And then question 4 is, Pike wasn't allowed to be in the army. He was a young lad, but he was exempt from joining the army in the war. The home front, he had to be a home guard. So why was he exempt from going to war? And then question 5 is, Also, there was Walker. Why was he exempt from going to war? And the last question, question 6, is the Mr. Men, because he's into children's TV like I was in the 70s. What was the first Mr. Man book that was written? Which Mr. Man was the first Mr. Man book written? So there we go. And I won't answer them today because I want Steve's answers. But no cheating, Steve, when you watch this. No cheating, no looking up. Let's see if you can get them. So that's my little bit of fun. And let's go on to, let's do a bit of this. Here it is. Okay, today you've been told you've got to send a message in a bottle. What is your message going to say? And if you're watching this back later, don't forget to put your answer in the comments. So what would your message in a bottle say if you were sending a message today? Interesting. What would mine be? I think I'd have to make it something very general. I would definitely put the date on it and where I had sent the bottle from. What would it be? What would my message be? Hang on in there. Hang on in there. And please respond where you found this bottle and a bit about your life. That would just be what I would put in a bottle. Yes. Hang on in there. Hang on in there. Or I would put what I say on the end of my main channel, the end of my videos a lot, which is Meraki. And if you don't know what that means, it's Cypriot. If you don't know what that means, then I have done a video explaining what that means. I say it at the end of quite a lot of my videos. So check that out. If you don't know what it means and you want to know, then just ask me for the URL of the video and I explain what Meraki means. It's really cool, really good. Okay, let's go on to this. So it's Friday, so on Fridays I show very short little film clips for you, and today I've decided to show you, we have our Coptic storms here at the moment, and a lot of people don't really know what they are. So rather than keep explaining it, I made a little mini film. I think it's 3 minutes, so it's very short, and a little film to explain to you what Coptic storms are in Cyprus. So I will just go over and play that and enjoy this footage. What are Coptic storms in Cyprus, and what is a Coptic storm? Sandstorms, gales, howling winds and hailstorms that have a set calendar date, the Coptic calendar, that is surprisingly accurate within a few days of the predicted storm. It is so accurate that police, marine police and officials from the fisheries department put out warnings of the coming Coptic dates. The word Coptic is named by the Copts, the first people to make recordings of the storms in ancient Alexandria, and has been in existence since before Christ.
used by farmers in ancient Egypt who planned all activities by the sun, moon, wind and rain. Of course, unlike the Western Gregorian calendar, the Coptic was divided into 13 months and 3 seasons, with each month being named after a god. The Egyptian god of wind is called Nephri. Today, farmers, fishermen and many others still closely follow the Coptic. I always make sure to pick my olives before the strongest, windiest storm in November, Ilmikis, the broom. The Coptic's dates are listed below.
So I hope that was informative to you. You can see why it's easier to play that than explain it a little bit more to you. So yes, as you can see, I don't know if you looked at the actual dates there, but we're between two dates, the 20th and 25th, I think, are the two dates. So we just had one and then it links into another one. So they can be 1 or 2 days out. It's lovely and sunny out. It's beautiful, but it's so gusty at the moment. And unfortunately, we're at the time where I'm trying to rake all our land up. Mike goes round and strims it. Yes, strims all our land, and I go round and rake it, and it's just too gusty because obviously the grass blows everywhere, which is quite annoying because it's beautiful out. If it wasn't for the wind at the moment, you would definitely get burnt outside. So as you can see, I've got a little fleece. It's not thick fleece, but like a fleecy top on. I've been outside and it's not a bitter wind. It's just so gusty and strong. So that's what's going on here at the moment. And fossils come down here. I had to turn the microphone off while that was playing because she was right here really purring. Okay, I said I would put up my other channel, New Beginnings, My Everyday Life in Rural Cyprus, the times of the lives and everything else on that channel. So here it is. Okay, let's finish with this today. Okay, the question I've been sent today is there anything you've ever regretted buying? So tell me in the comments, whether you're watching back later or in the chat now, type in, is there anything you've ever regretted buying? That's a hard question. Of course, we all indulge and buy things we don't need, but that's not the question. Anything you've regretted buying? Oh my goodness, that's really hard. I would say no straight off then. This isn't really what I've regretted buying, but on this channel you can see my caravans, trailers, whatever you want to call them, that I had. And there's videos on my very first one, which was the tiniest thing you've ever seen, to see if I liked camping, if you like. I've never been in a tent camping, but like a caravan, we call them in England, but I think Americans mostly call them trailers. It's tiny. You can see a video on it, so you'll see. And the second one I bought, and it explains the story of why I got a second one. That was like a really huge one, but you could still take it with the car, go places with it. I wouldn't have a static one in the same place. The second one, I wouldn't say I regretted buying it, only for the fact it got stolen and it was brand new. So I regret the amount of money I spent on it, and we couldn't get insurance claim on it. It was insured because I think I explained in the video, I don't know, it was parked in a person had hundreds of them that they let you park on their land, and it got stolen from there. And when we tried to claim, the insurance company actually looked into this place where they were all parked and said it was a regular occurrence, which we didn't know, and they thought it was a scam going on by the owners of the land. They lived there, it was like a farm, it wasn't like an empty place, and they said they thought it was a scam that they were actually pointing out when a new caravan came on, so they wouldn't pay out on it. So I regret in the way it was the amount of money that got spent on it and the insurance I'd paid on it and couldn't claim on it. So, but the purchase, no. So that doesn't really answer the question. My Alabama Farm Life says a car. Is that in general or a particular car? I've never owned a car. I've never owned a car. Never. I've only bought a car twice, and they've been for other people. So the car we have now, I bought for my husband, Mike, and that was when we came to live here. We rented a car for a little while, and he got a second-hand car here for a run around, and the engine went. And then it was his 60th birthday, and I said, go and choose a car, but it's got to last us. It was secondhand, but it was a pretty good one. So I got that one. So I've bought two cars in my life, but they've never been for me. It's been for people to drive me. So don't you wish you were my driver? So I bought that for his 60th birthday. So it was something that was needed. We're so remote here. There's no public transport. My Alabama Farm Life says it was a used BMW and the engine blew. Loved the car, but hated the place that sold it to me. Right. It was a bad deal, basically. Have I regretted buying anything? I don't think so. Can't think of anything particularly. let's say buying insurance, yes. Our house is no longer insured. Oh dear, I couldn't afford to insure it now anyway. But the fact was, where I thought how much money was going on house insurance. I know it's dodgy, but it was pre-pandemic and all that going on. I've got no income. I've got like zero income. I get a payout on YouTube every 2 years, like a little bit, maybe 30 euros every 2 years. I was saying the other day, if this channel could get monetized, because my main channel's monetized, if this channel could get monetized, then the tiny little bit of income that this would produce gets added on to the other one. So let's say I get 30 euros every 2 years from YouTube. If this made some money, or like if it was monetized, it adds it together. So the more channels you have, no, I lie, you can have up to 3 channels and they can be added together. If you have more channels, they can't be added on. So you can't make loads and loads of channels. So you can have more channels, but you can't do it. But a warning to you all, if you do have other channels, you must, before you monetize your first channel, you must link all the other channels to it. So you can't be monetized and then suddenly make more channels. They won't be added on. So when you first go fill in all the information to monetize a channel, you have to add any other channels on. And I was saying the other day, I've got enough subscribers on this channel to monetize it, to add it onto the other channel, but I haven't got the watch hours. And I looked it up because someone said, well, how many do you need? And I wrote it down. I need 3,000 watch hours. Different countries are different. 3,000 watch hours on this channel. And I've currently got 268. So I think it's like way in the distance, way in the distance. But as I say, if I could get like a few more euros, if this one was monetized, to add it on would really be a big difference. I know you want your dinner. It's too early. It's too early. What time is it? In Cyprus, it's 2:45 p.m. and you don't have your dinner till 4 p.m., do you? She gets confused because she thinks when I do a live, it's the same time as the other channel. No, I can't think of anything that I regret buying. Maybe some of the things I would say, like past life, when you're younger and you just buy things. When you think in later life, I could have like saved that money or invested it in something else, that kind of thing, but not that I've regretted a particular purchase. So I was saying insurance here. House insurance. It depends on where you live. I mean, a lot of countries you have to have insurance. We don't have that American system, or some countries where you have to have insurance for medical, to use hospitals and doctors. We did have that here. You had to have a private insurance for any, I'm talking about as an expat here, I'm not saying how it works for Cypriots, but when we lived here, to have any medical assistance, we did have that, where expats had to pay for private insurance to receive any medical aid. But because of my conditions, I could not get insurance. It wasn't even you have to pay a lot of money and you can get insured. I could not get insurance because I've got such a rare condition that there's only 3 people in the whole world that have my condition. I'm one of those 3. So because it's not classed as anything, because it's not a big condition that people know of or exist, I can't get like notification of that for it to be sorted out for insurance purposes. So I couldn't get insurance anyway. So we would have had to have just paid every time we went for any medical issues. But in the long run, that's probably, as long as nothing huge happened, that probably was cheaper than paying out for insurance anyway. And I don't know how it works for other countries, but in England, if you pay for insurance for anything, house or anything else, whenever you apply to that insurance company for a payout or help, they always find a loophole. So you're paying for insurance and you can't use it anyway, such as the case of when I had dogs, that you paid vet insurance and every time you went, oh no, that's not covered, or if you've got past issues or current issues. So I would say, yeah, insurance, any form of insurance, no. Pensions, that can be a waste of money if you've been following my saga of trying to get an English payout, not of old people pension, I'm not old enough for that, but another pension that I had. I've been fighting for about 6 years. I've finally got a payout on one of my pensions, but it's not enough to live on. And by the time the hours and hours and legal help and all the rest of it to get the money, it wasn't worth even having. It certainly won't last me long at all. I've bought a few bits for the house out of it and it's literally gone. It's gone. So pensions, depends. It depends on that. And English old people pension is eventually going to be non-existent anyway. Maybe by the time I get to that, it won't exist because there's no young people paying in, and it's from the generations now paying in that pays out the older people. So I think that's going to be gone. That's going to be gone in the future anyway. So yeah, I would say those kind of things: insurances, pensions, any financial things. Yeah, anything like that. So what do I regret? I would say possibly pensions and insurances that I've had to pay in the past. That's my answer. Actual items, no, I don't think so. Can't think of anything. Apart from, all right, let's say things I've paid out, the person I bought the car for previously, just basically, do I want to go into this? Let's say did something horrendous to me. You would never guess it, what they did. And yeah, so that, did I regret that? Not at the time, but in like later on, yes, regretted that. Spending my money on helping other people, let's say that. So I think we're going to finish there today. What's the time? Yes, I've been a bit longer than normal. My Friday lives are normally shorter than my other channel lives, just because it's sort of, as I say, what time is it now? It's nearly 3 p.m. here, so obviously things to do. And Fossil wants attention. You want attention? Yeah. And don't forget, on this channel and my other channel, I actually have videos of cat diaries following my cats. So look at the playlist on both my channels. So I'm going to leave it there. Thank you so much for being here. A special thank you to those who are actually in the live itself. It's always good to have a chat. And thank you for those of you who the time, I understand it doesn't suit you. And I see so many of you come and watch later. So thank you for that. And as I always say, there's so many of you out there that watch and support so many channels, and you find time to come and support my channel. And everyone's saying goodbye. So goodbye to Glitter World. Goodbye to my Alabama farm life. Guys, do go and check them out. They are awesome channels, and I will see you next time. So until then, don't forget to check out my other channel too, and bye for now.